Hey, welcome back to another reason why a woman oftentimes takes her wedding ring off in a marriage relationship, and that is because she doesn't want to be reminded of the status of the relationship. You remember how I've told you in some of these videos that this is usually happening in what's called, in some circles, the disillusionment stage or the power struggle stage. That's a stage of the relationship where things are difficult, where they're not easy, where there's a lot of hurt feelings, disappointment, anger, contempt, frustration, and a number of other unpleasant things. And when we walk around every day with a symbol on our fingers of a relationship, when that relationship is in distress, that could also be a daily reminder of that stress. It could be a daily reminder that things are not good. Now, you remember in one of the earlier videos, I told you about women feeling pressure. So when a woman feels pressure, and that pressure is related to the ring, then an indirect consequence is she doesn't want to be reminded of all of the ways this relationship is not going well. She doesn't want to be reminded of the pressure. She doesn't want to be reminded that from her perspective, the life that she had always wanted doesn't look like it's very possible right now. And so she just doesn't want the complexity emotionally in these moments to feel all these things. She wants to be able to go through her day and focus on what needs to be focused on, whether that's her career or her family or children, etc. She wants to be able to just do that without this constant thing in her face which is saying it's not going well, you failed, all these other kind of emotional messages that women can associate with this symbol on her finger. And so that can be a big reason why women take their ring off. It's just they want to be relieved of that ongoing reminder of what's going on. Now, this is also sometimes related to why she doesn't want to go to marriage counseling either. It's because she's feeling a little bit flabbergasted, a lot flabbergasted. She's feeling hopeless. She's feeling despair. And she's really having a hard time imagining how this could work out. Now, that's always true. Every couple, when they get in this scenario, generally, most women will be like, yeah, I just don't see it working out. And that freaks guys out to hear, and we get it, right? Because we hear words, oh, she doesn't think this can work out. And a guy be like, well, that's it. I guess it can't work out now. I don't know how it could ever work. Because his wife's inability to see a situation where it works out is very scary to him. And so if she's feeling this way, and she doesn't want to wear her ring, and a man says, I think we should go to marriage counseling, it could feel like the same kind of mix of pressure and reminder. Like, listen, I don't want to focus on that right now. I just don't want to look at this. Right? Another way you might say this is, I just want to put my head in the sand. Now, it's really easy to critique this as a man and say, well, we've got to, right? Because it's a very male way to think. We've got to make this work. We've got to fix this. We've got to pay attention to this. But it's not how the feminine works. The feminine says, my heart can't look at this right now, and that's it, right? And so they take their ring off. They refuse to go to marriage counseling and a number of other things. And one of the worst things you and I can do as a man is to badger and to put more pressure and keep bringing up the status of the relationship. It's not actually effective. It keeps pushing women away further. It feels like more pressure, more reason to flee, more reason to move away. And so if you keep that up when a woman has just taken off the ring, and that's like where she's at for now, and you and I keep putting pressure on her to go to counseling, fix a relationship, do this, do that, do this, do that, she will ask you, I promise you, for space or separation, or she might even just say, I think we need a divorce, because it's just too much for her to bear, and your pressure, my pressure in those circumstances does not help. So what should you do instead, right? Well, the first thing is appreciate this is how she feels right now. And you and I, one of the things we have to learn in a long-term relationship is we're never free to judge how other people feel. Neither is anybody free to judge how I feel, right? My feelings are my feelings. They're incontestable. I feel the way I feel. I experience life the way I experience it. So does my partner. My wife feels the way she feels. I might have a completely different perspective, but I am not free to judge or tell her she should have a different one. And so right now, if her perspective is this feels too difficult, too complicated, that's how she feels. Stop laboring against that, and you will actually come out ahead for yourself and for her. Instead, what you want to do is recognize your own sense of uncertainty is just another way that you feel insecure as a man, and that your wife can never give you the sense of certainty that you want about your future. That's one of the problems you actually have to address in this stage of marriage, is that you have begun looking to her to define how certain things will be in your future, your happiness, your well-being, your dreams coming true, all kinds of stuff. And that's just way too much pressure to put on somebody. But it's also robbing you of the gift of living and leading your own life. And so what to do in this moment is to recognize that all your hopes are in the wife basket. All the eggs are in the wife basket. You have to start taking those back out and saying, I'm going to be okay. I can't actually put all my hope in what she does next and what she doesn't do next, because it'll get you wrapped around the drive shaft really fast if you stay this way. But when we take that back, when we take these parts of our life back and we say, you know what? She can't create certainty. Nobody in the world gets certainty. You have to be an almighty sort of divine thing to have certainty, because certainty comes with knowing what happens next. And no human knows what happens next. If your wife said, I'm certain I'll love you forever, well, is that reliable? Didn't she say that at the altar? And yet here you are. She's taken her ring off and maybe is telling you she doesn't love you right now, and a number of things. So we clearly know that words don't create certainty. What creates certainty is the belief system that you and I are willing to live in. What do we believe about our own future? And who have we entrusted that future to? And so if you've entrusted your future to her, then your certainty is tied up in her. And so one of the most effective things a man can do in this moment is to start taking the responsibility for how his future will look back into his own hands. And we'll talk to you about that as we go through other videos about attributes that you need here. But that's the step number one, is start taking the ownership and responsibility for everything in your life back. Every place you've asked your wife to tell you what the future looks like, take it back. She can't tell you that information. Only you can, and you can only do that to the degree that you're confident in your ability to create that future. And that's what's really going on here. And that's what's really behind all this. And as you grow and flourish as a man, and your capacity and your confidence to create the future that you see for yourself, you will be relieving pressure from the woman in your life, and that ring will not begin to feel like such a huge status symbol, of a relational status symbol of pressure, and should be free at some point to put it back on. Now, watch the other videos, understand how this fits into everything else, but understand what's going on here. Release pressure, release expectations, right? Get okay with the unknown, with the uncertainty, and let her just be as authentic and real in this moment as she needs to be. You'll come out ahead, she'll thank you for it, and you'll be in a good place. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.